Yeah, 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 yeah. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stay One podcast. I am your host, Sincere, and I am back with another Memoir Mondays. Today's going to be a good one. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and take a 30-second break, and I'll be back with you in 3, 2, 1. And we are back. Cool. Before we get into anything, let's go ahead and take care of the business that's at hand. First of all, go ahead and like the stream or the podcast, whichever one you want to call it. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you think this is doing anything good for you. I know it does good for me. This is for me to share with you guys the things that I know, the concepts that I have, and the things that I research for the most part. But Memoir Mondays is more so about me than it is about anything else. And hit that share button if you really think it's doing anything for you. Give me some likes, give me some comments as well. Let me know whether or not this is resonating with you. That will be greatly appreciated. Now into the topic at hand. Let's talk about misconceptions, right? Misconceptions when it comes to the word entrepreneurship, right? So I've titled this one, Misconceptions from a Failed Entrepreneur. There's a term out there right now that I'm going to use in particular for this stream, and they say serial entrepreneur, and that has been what for the I would say my entire life that I have been. But needless to say, the showing for my entrepreneurship has been very minimal. I'm not going to say there's been none, but it's been very minimal. And that's not a bad thing. It has taught me a lot of good lessons, in which I'm going to share with you guys today. Some. Now, let me say this in getting started. Entrepreneurship is a thing that I hear a lot on the internet, a lot in podcasts, a lot in the dating realm, and a lot in real life. People talk about entrepreneurship. Well, I'm here to tell you, entrepreneurship is not exactly what we think it is. And if you look at the thumbnail, you will see that I placed some successful Black men and women on that thumbnail. And honestly, I think that's what we tend to think of when we talk about entrepreneurship. We tend to talk about the person who is running either a successful LLC or a successful business, a successful small business. They have people under them. They're able to travel. They're doing all this amazing stuff that we think about when we think about business success, right? But entrepreneurship it doesn't necessarily when you become an entrepreneur, it doesn't necessarily equate to success. All right. And before I tell you a little bit about what I have done, let's look at the word entrepreneurship. Right. The word entrepreneur means a person who organizes, manages, and assumes risk of business or enterprise. I'll read that one more time. One who organizes, manages, assumes risk of business or enterprise. Right? So in layman's terms, it's this. It's somebody that ventures out to do something in hopes of that particular thing being successful. They assume all liabilities and everything that goes along with it. And this is why I say from a failed entrepreneur. And that's going to lead me into some of the things that I have done. Um, for a big majority of my life, I would say from the time I was in college, probably around the age of 17, all the way up until the age of like, I don't know, maybe 30. I would say 30 was the maximum age. I was pursuing music. Heavy, heavy into the music. Uh, I was a Christian rap artist. Uh, and I was doing a lot of amazing things. I had been to many different concerts. I did. Um, I opened up for Flame and Lecrae over in Lakeland, Southeastern University, formerly known as Southeastern Bible College. Shout outs to them in Lakeland, Florida. That was my former school that I went to. I can't say my alma mater because I didn't graduate. Um, but I did shows there. I did shows in Washington, in Maryland, in Tampa, in Miami, in Daytona. I think the only major places we didn't really get to is I didn't get a chance to go to New York, um, and a few other major cities, hip hop influenced cities, when I was doing music. Um, a lot of it mainly was spent in Florida, and I had a myriad of success up to the point where at one point I was going to get signed, and I don't know if I've told this or not. I was going to get signed by the once now deceased Ruckus Records. They were prominent back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. They had artists on there such as Mos Def. I don't know if you've heard of him, Talib Kweli, The Roots, um, affiliates of OK Player, so on and so on. They were talking about signing me. Now, needless to say, that didn't go too far because obviously I'm here. But that was a road of entrepreneurship that I went down. I took a risk. I assumed all liabilities and I assumed everything that goes along with it, including cost and everything like that. So, what happens when? Uh, uh, so, what wind up happening with that? Well, obviously, I didn't get signed. And obviously, I said, look, at this point in my life, music is not taking me to where I want to go. And I need to start considering what my role is in life. Do I need to redevelop my music career, or do I want to try something else? Well, let's just say a nifty little thing happened. In the midst of me wanting to make sure I stayed in premium shape in order to give the best performances that I could possibly give, I developed a love for fitness. And after my uh, endeavors of trying to pursue music ended, I then got into fitness. I started out with traditionally by going to big box gyms such as LA Fitness and so on and so on. But then I further branched out and started doing my own thing. I had some success. I had some clientele, and I would travel from home to home, uh, looking to get clients, and I had a few clients here and there that paid me very nicely, but it wasn't sustainable. Of course, I'm here now. It wasn't sustainable, and now I am here on YouTube once again, trying my hand at something that is more of an entrepreneurial risk. So what do I have? What is the point in me saying all this? The misconception is as soon as you say the word entrepreneur, And as soon as you say I'm endeavoring to do this or I'm endeavoring to do that, people often think it's going to come with success. That as soon as you get out there and you go to do it is now let me say this. People say, I know it takes hard work. I know it may not accomplish, but in the back of their mind, just much like myself, we don't think that there's a way to fail because we start doing our research, we start doing the studies, we start talking to people, individuals. If you're anything like myself, you make sure that before you plunge money into it, time and invest all this stuff, you want to do a certain amount of research and do a certain amount of study before you actually endeavor to do that. But here's the thing that we don't know, right? Over 50% of entrepreneurial endeavors and businesses that decide to go up fail within the first 5 years. And they say in order to have something that is genuinely successful, you need to at least 3 to 5 years worth of significant income and repeat customers in order to sustain. And that's just to sustain. That's not saying you're successful. That means you're on your way. So you're not only talking about money you have to live off of, you're talking about you have to have enough money not only to live off of, but you have to have enough money to maintain whatever licenses, whatever property you got, what all the stuff that correlates with having a business or pursuing a entrepreneurial endeavor. You got to have that, right? Sustained within the first 3 to 5 years in order to say I'm going somewhere. And then if you maintain that, you can continue to use that money that you're getting from that in order to increase revenue, marketing, and in return get more clientels who will eventually turn into loyal customers that will continue to serve, who will continue to either get your service or buy your product for years and years and years to come. And that's the truth. That's the truth. But a lot of us won't hit it. A lot of us think that, oh, I want somebody who's an entrepreneur. Let me tell you this. Entrepreneurs, for the most part, are going to have to work 10 times as hard than the person who is working a 9 to 5. If they want to be successful. And see, here's the thing about it. There's no guarantee that if they work that hard, it's going to be successful. They're taking a risk. As you heard in that definition, part of it is risk and liability. So there's not a guarantee that just because you go out and pursue it and you want to do it and your heart is in it, that it's going to be majorly successful. And see, that's the misconception out here in the world, and especially within the dating market. They think, oh, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner or whatever the case may be, you're automatically going to be able to make your own schedules. Yeah, sure, to a certain extent, you're going to be able to dictate the hours you may work and say, I'm going to work this many hours in the day at this time, whatever the case may be. But until you get to a place where your lifestyle and the income you have is sustainable from year to year to year, more than likely you're going to be working 60 to 80 hours per week with no guarantee. That's the minimal investment in order to see any type of success. And on top of that, you still have to do your R&D research and development in order to make sure that you're giving the best product, you're staying competitive, you're not going to be too high or too low. as far as the money that you're charging for your products or your services, and that you continue to look at the competition and the marketing and everything that you have to do in order. See, I'm here to tell you this. Don't let Instagram and don't let social media fool you into thinking that this is an easy process, that it's just step one, step two, step three. These things work for them, and that's cool. And other people may have seen that if they take that particular pattern, it works. But the truth is, you can do step A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and it still may not work. You can look up your demographics. You can look up, you can make sure you have the right location. You can make sure that you're in the right city, state, so on and so on. And you may never get it because the competitor next to you is either pre-established or has something better than yours or is able to do it better, whatever the case may be. Or maybe it's just not your niche. I don't know. But what I will tell you is there's going to be failure. There's going to be a lot more failure than there is success. Most entrepreneurs will tell you, I've done a myriad of things. Serial entrepreneurs, right? They don't call it that in the business world for the most part. I've done a myriad of different things, and I finally found one that yielded success, and I stuck with it. That's what happened. They tried a bunch of stuff that they were passionate about, and they they went on to they since then went on to do different things within that realm. Tried it for a number of years, a number of months, whatever the time they wanted to dedicate it to it may be, and see what it yielded. They sowed seeds into the ground, right? So I'm gonna put this analogy in the aspects of a farmer. A farmer goes out, he digs the land, he does all the work, right, and he sows seed into the ground. Now, what those seeds do from that point on is not on the farmer. All he can do is cultivate it. He can dig around the dirt, make sure that the ground is nice and fertile. He can water it, make sure it's routinely watered, but the rest of it is up to the atmosphere, making sure that he's in a proper area where he gets enough sunlight. But there's no telling what his seeds will yield. There's no telling that if the seeds will yield anything. They could just be bad seeds. So what I'm telling you is this: just because you journey out to do things on your own, and you begin to journey out to be your own boss, or have or do something that you're passionate about, this does not, and I repeat, this does not guarantee that you're going to be highly successful and have a ton of money. This does not mean that all of a sudden you are going to have a ton of disposable time in which to do all the fun things that you. As a matter of fact, you'd probably be better off just working a regular job and taking time off. Just being honest. Because at least now there's some stability involved. You know routinely when you're going to get paid. You know the amount of hours you can take off and dedicate to your fun time. But when you're when you're an entrepreneur, you can't necessarily say that. Yes, Yes, are you making your own life a life for yourself? Absolutely. Are you hoping for the best? Absolutely. But in order to accomplish something that is grand in scale, you've got to put in the time, the effort, and be diligent about it.
Is sorry about that technical difficulties there. That's the misconception I'm looking to break. Is that as soon as I do it, I'm going to be successful. As soon as I do it, I'm going to have it. As soon as I do it, I'm going to go down this road, and it's going to be the most wonderful thing, and people are going to applaud me, and I'm going to no, no, you're not. I mean, let's just put this in even into the sex work industry, right? There's people that get into the industry, specifically OF, and they're still only making about as much money annually as a regular worker would, a 9 to 5 worker. And now, not only are they not making the type of money that they so dreamed of, the reputation that they have is besmirched along with that. But you took the risk. That's entrepreneurship. That's real entrepreneurship. That's saying, I am, once again, let me read this definition. Let me read this definition. When you decide sign up to be an entrepreneur, this is literally what you are saying. Hold on a second. When you sign up to be an entrepreneur, this is literally what you are saying, right? You are saying, I am the one who is going to organize, manage, assume the risk of this business or enterprise. Nowhere in there does it say success. It says risk. Now, whether or not the risk is great or small is on you, but it says nothing about success. We got to stop thinking that just because we endeavor to do something, just because we put our minds to do something, that's going to equate to these grandiose ideas. And I know what's told out there in these internet space. Do whatever you put your mind to. Don't believe the haters. Don't worry about the people that speak down to you. Well, cool. That's true to a certain extent. But then you got to look at the reality of it all. What is your work showing you? What is your time showing you? What is the cost that you're putting out showing you? If it's showing you little to no fruit, why would you continue down that same path? Why would you continue that loop? The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So, in conclusion, we cannot continue to perpetuate the idea that just because you get ready to do your own, and just because you get ready to uh, lock into something, or you go out to do something, that's going to equate to a grand monetary value. All that means is that you are taking a risk on yourself, and you're hoping that in taking that risk, it's going to pay off in dividends. And that's all I'm going to say. Anyways, guys, check out the Standard 81 podcast over there on TikTok. I got plenty of videos up over there. I'm sure you will probably enjoy them. Check out my Instagram at Sincere the Artist. Got plenty of videos there too. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you share this with somebody that needs to hear it. And until next time, peace out.